It's September 10th today, and I'm in my 5-year-old food forest. The system is in high production, and I wish that there was a way that I could convey to you how much food we're getting for how little work we're doing. To the untrained eye, if you looked around, you might think it was messy, but everything in here has a purpose. Everything has a function. I'm gonna go through, show you how everything's doing. Let's go. Still a lot of zucchinis producing flowers. There's some big zucchinis in the back there. A little bit of powdery mildew, but that's expected considering the spot it's in, being underneath a couple trees. But getting that production in a spot like this is awesome in my opinion. This one I let get a little too far past. I gotta harvest that one. Maybe I'll try to fry it up or something. That's the only thing you can do when they get that big. All the trees are doing beautiful. This new tree here is just blow me away. This nectarine tree got so big so quick. It's just another tree that just really makes it truly a food forest in here, next to a hazelnut. And as I just look around, just get immersed. It's become its own ecosystem in here. It really has become its own separate unit. I've said it before, some people have told me it feels like a park in here. And initially when people come, I always like to ask them, what does it feel like, a garden or a forest? A lot of times I'll get people saying a forest, especially this year. This year things have changed, things have come through, and it's truly become a forest in here. And some stuff that I planted 5 years ago when I first put it in have come up, like this apple tree from seed. That one's got a little damage on it, but it's got a number of apples on it. Doing well. And I just prune this one so heavy every year to keep it as small as I want. And the time I like to prune it is after it puts its fruit on. This way I know where all the fruit is. And for apples, all the fruit is mostly going to be in the lateral branches. You're not going to get fruit on those sucker branches up top there, so it's good to get rid of them. And the earlier you get rid of them, the better. I should have got rid of them when they were really small. But you're not going to get fruit on those straight up branches. And here's one of these sun gold cherries that was like a hybrid one that came up on its own this year. Good flavor. Really good. And the Juliets are so loaded again. I've got a lot of food to harvest. I'm gonna have to do another harvest video. I've done a bunch of them, but I don't know if you guys are getting sick of them or not, but it's just, I want to show you how much food we're actually getting from here. And for me, it's more fun to do a harvest video than to just do some pictures or something. And here's an awesome tomato we've got back here. This thing came up on its own, self-seeded. Here's some of the transplants I did. They're a little slow to start, but they're still doing well. Look at this tomato, came up on its own. It's a monster, this one. It goes from here all the way over to here, and then from there all the way to that fence over there. All one tomato, and it's loaded with fruit, and the fruit's good. I'm pretty sure it's a Snow White. We had a Snow White tomato growing last year, Snow White cherry, and I think this is kind of like a hybrid of that, but it's got good flavor. And the kale's doing good. Some stuff is eating on a little bit, but still doing well. And some of the flavor burst peppers are starting to ripen. I got nicer ones in the front, I'll show you though, or in the front of the food forest. More zucchini that I just am late on harvesting. And more cucumbers ready in the back. And this is a funny one. This is a honey bunch grape I've showed you a couple times. This is bamboo. Bamboo stakes are pretty strong. I mean, this is the second year of the bamboo stake, so it's a little old. But look at this thing. The grape just snapped it in half. The tomato snapped it in half. It got so heavy. That one's damaged. But it got so heavy. It just snapped the branch, but the tomato's still doing fine. Loaded with tomatoes. I'm gonna have to harvest some. Some of them are getting past. This is a nice one though. This one's got good flavor. Yummy. And right now is when it's the time of the raspberries. They're so good. They're cool when I come out here in the morning. Especially like right now. It's late morning, but they're still so cool because it's been real cold here. And you just get nice sets of these and just, oh man, I get to come out here in the morning and eat as many as I eat until I don't feel like eating raspberries anymore. And that's a great feeling. You can never do that when you get it from the store. It'd be like $50. And the flavor in these ones, I feel like you don't have to eat as many because they're more satisfying. They've got more minerals, more nutrition. Just looking through the food forest, I'm so thankful that I've had the opportunity to create a system like this, to be able to design a system like this, a functional design, a design that creates more than it takes in. And this has created so much food this year. It's been such a blast. Way more than last year. But last year it created way more than the year before, which gives me a lot of hope that next year is going to be even bigger, guys. I'm so excited for it already. But I'm still enjoying this year because we're still getting nice harvests. I can see some tomatoes down there, ripe and ready from the soldaki. I know we've got peppers ready, eggplants, some apples. Every year it becomes more productive. Every year the food gets better and more nutrient dense because the soil gets better. It's the whole point. One of the main focuses is the soil. And it's not about bringing in good soil, guys. That's not what it's about. Here's kale that I just transplanted, one of the lacinatos, doing okay. A little slow to go, but doing all right. It's not about bringing in good soil, it's about making good soil. And you do that by creating the environment to make good soil, by bringing in the wood chips, the mulches, and the comforties like this, the biodynamic accumulators, the chop and drop, bringing in this kind of stuff, especially the wood chips though, so you can get that organic matter. You can have the worms come in, the fungus come in, break that all down for you and create beautiful, beautiful soil. Here we've got leaf drop, just like you would in a natural forest. Look at underneath this leaf drop here. A lot of the wood chips are breaking down now too. Look at this soil creation. Look at this, guys. This is from years of wood chips, but as you can see, this is sustainable now. A lot of this is dropping its own leaves. Not even wood chips here. We got comfrey doing great. That's going to die. That's going to drop its leaves. When it gets cold, that's going to feed that cherry tree with different kind of nutrients. Like I had mentioned before, biodynamic accumulator. It's got deeper roots than most plants. It can pull up different nutrients than most plants can. Then I cut those leaves back, drop them under the tree. So this is creating its own fertility. All the strawberries are coming back, and through the years, paths have been made naturally of kind of where we choose to walk, and the strawberries have just filled in where we don't walk. So last year, 2 years ago, this was all thick strawberries, and they're going to come through again. But as we've wanted to walk through here, some of them died back, but again, they're all going to come through. This will all be strawberries again, and then next year we'll probably walk through here again, and the same process will start over and over, which has actually been good because through this process, the strawberries haven't shaded, grown too thick that they've shaded themselves out, and it doesn't even look like there's that many right now. But come next spring, they're going to be everywhere. They're all back there, all around here, all under here, and that was the idea. One of the main ideas, you don't have to, but you can get 7 layers in a forest. In this food forest, we've got the veining right there. We've got the tree layer here. We've got the ground cover, herbaceous. I'm sure we've got some rooting, and we don't have that many carrots I don't see right here. But we've got asparagus over there, so we've got all different layers. Actually, we've got the carrots back there. There they are. So we've got most of the layers of the food forest, all just right here. Everything growing together. This is just like a mini picture of what a whole forest could be and of what our whole forest is becoming. As you can see over here too. And this rhubarb, the size of it, monster, growing in shade. What? You know, I mean, the sun's still coming up, but it's still relatively high. Look at the tree that it's under. This plum tree. It's getting filtered sunlight through it. That's what happens when you're in a forest. And grapes, they just won't stop growing. So much growth. So I'm never going to be worried about pruning those back ever again. Just the amount of growth, I can't slow it down. And they've got some delicious, delicious catawbas on them. I've harvested a bunch of them, but I gotta leave some out here to eat fresh, because in a morning like this when they're cold, man, they're good. Ouch. Just bumped my head on something. Some grapes, probably. Yeah, just bumped my head on this thing. Dangerous, but these grapes have gotten so heavy that a lot of the things I've had them shell stuff, they just weigh it down. I did not realize, I didn't realize the harvest was going to be this big this year. And in here, just, it's nice to be in here. I really enjoy it. I love it. Especially in mornings like this, guys. I wish you guys could come through and hang out with me in a morning like this. And I appreciate you guys following along as you are now as I come through. But it's real satisfying to create a system like this and to be able to yield the rewards and benefits from it. And if you don't have a garden, you guys got to start gardening. It could change your life. And if you guys want to follow along, like I hinted at before, we're going to do this bigger, this system, and better. Here's a flavor burst, getting that beautiful orange color now, loaded, grown just in wood chips, homemade soil, homegrown. Here we go. Look at that yield we're going to get. It's funny, it just laid down a little bit. That's what happened with the spacing, but that Rosita, what a beautiful eggplant, huh? Man. And these new ace peppers, loaded, at least 4 of them are ripe there. I'm gonna have to come harvest those. And some eggplants over here, getting close. I know I've got some ripe eggplants in the back. And this new pear looks beautiful. Wow, what a beautiful looking pear. Really excited for that one, the white Doyenne. Gotta have the zinnias, beautiful flowers in here. Drawing the insects, drawing the pollinators. Notice how I put a lot of my flowers at the front of the garden. Draw the insects in to the garden, and then as they're hanging out here, they turn around. They come through like, oh man, more zinnias. Keep drawing them in. See all the colors. Drawing them in. And then once they get into here, there's not much turning back. If you're an insect, you're not going to want to leave. If you're a bird, either. That's why the birds are making their nests. The insects are making their homes. I'm sure I'll have a bunch of praying mantis nests this year, as I usually do. And here are cosmos. Some bird just left, looks like I scared him away. It's gotten thick in here, guys. I could come through and cut some of this stuff back, but I've got so many harvests from a lot of this stuff, I'm just kind of letting it go. And then I'll let it drop to the ground and compost and build my soil. And man, those asparagus are going to be good next year. I see a couple coming up already. And over here we've got some cucumbers that I just planted. They're doing well. I'm not sure if they're going to have time before I can get a harvest, but I figured I'd try. I was a little late on them, but we're still getting a few from the old ones. They're really on their last leg now, though. And this hazelnut tree got so huge, and it's got so many catkins on it, which is what's going to pollinate its own flowers. So we can get a huge harvest next year. And I know there were some hazelnuts on it, and they should be on the ground. Here's one. Here's another one. This is definitely a different variety. Look at the size of these. These ones are huge. Wow, those look beautiful. So this one potentially could have, this hazelnut tree could have a huge harvest of huge hazelnuts next year if we don't get any catkin die off from a frost. So we're gonna put really thick wood chips around that to try to help it from the frost. We're gonna do anything we can. But ultimately, can't protect the catkins from opening too much, but putting the wood chips around it can slow, which will bring the soil temperature down, and that'll slow down the opening process for the flowers. That's the idea with that. There's a bunch of mint flowering here underneath one of the peach trees, and the bees love the mint. So I'm not too worried about it taking everything over. It hasn't got too bad yet, although the chocolate mint wants to take everything over, but I just rip it out as I need. The roots aren't really deep, and when I rip it out, I can just dry it and make chocolate mint tea, so it's not a bad problem to have, I guess. Keeps the ground covered and brings in the bees and smells amazing. Every time I walk by it, I brush by it, it's like the best smell ever. Oh my gosh, I love chocolate mint tea. And I just love chocolate mint in general. It's my favorite kind of mint. And look at this watermelon over here, trying to finish in time. That'd be awesome if it does. So late in the season that we put this watermelon on the ground. But we'll see if we can get some, as I can really smell the chocolate mint now. And this section back here is still doing great. Those cucumbers have really come through, and they're producing a lot of cucumbers for us. We got one weed there I've got to get rid of. It's just teasing me, swaying like that. And this corner back here always is productive. Some of the reason it's got its own microclimate, having the fences on two sides and having this white fence back here, it's really got its own microclimate, as we've got some nice looking eggplants there. And I know there's a bunch of peppers ready, tomatoes, and the goji berries are really getting close. One of the amazing things is these cucumbers back here, guys. They've just blown me away. Look at the amount of cucumbers in here for how many I've harvested. We've got 1, 2, 3. This thing's a monster. 4, 5, 6 cucumbers hanging right from one tree right here, and I know there's more. That's just looking from one spot. So productive. And I've said it before, but we're gonna get production out of this tree. If it's not gonna produce fruit for us, it's gonna be a trellis. So we've got beans on it too. Using that as a living trellis. And goji berry plant in the back is massive. I want to show you that one. This cucumber looks like it got passed, but the currant is doing real well. It's a currant right there. And more cucumbers from that same vine right here. 2 more. And more up there. And another one hanging there. And over there. Yeah, so I'm gonna save seed from this cucumber plant because it's been crazy and it's got good flavor too. Maybe I'll do a giveaway, give some of those seeds away. This has been such an awesome plant. And here's the goji berry. You can tell it's got a lot of fruit on it because it's getting so heavy. Before it was standing straight up, shooting like those ones are, shooting straight up. Then they got so heavy, now they're all laying down. So these are going to be loaded with fruit. Here's ones that are getting close. I'll do a lot of drying of goji berry. Gonna have like goji berry powder. I think they do that. All different kinds of stuff. Fun little corner to hang out in. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share with your friends. I've got some big plans coming up this winter, so stay tuned. See you in the next one.